Hey Pilates people, welcome to Connect and Move. My name is Jessica. Today I have for you kind of an athletic style reformer with heavy springs, and you don't need a box, you don't need any props, just your beautiful self and your reformer. So we're gonna start with a heavy, medium, and a light. So for my balanced body today, I have a green, red, and a blue starting with footwork. And before you think, well, that's not really that heavy, we're gonna quickly get into some single leg footwork. So grab your water, grab anything that you may need, and then go ahead and have a lie back on your carriage. Make sure that you are centered. We're gonna start with all 10 toes on, heels together, toes apart. And I just want you to take a couple moments here to find that long line of energy out through the crown of your head and down through your hips. Feel that energetic reach out through your fingertips, but also kind of the planting down through the back of the arms. Your heels are together and every toe pad is connected to that foot bar. On your next inhale, you're gonna press the carriage out. And then as you exhale, come in, think of getting longer and taller. All right, so as you're going out and in here, I want you to really feel that connection to the back of your legs into your seat. Because when we get into that single leg bridging, I don't want anybody cramping up, right? I want you to be plenty warm. And just feel that broadening across your collarbones, of course, your stable spine and pelvis. Let's do 3. Inhale out, 2. Last one here, go ahead and pull that carriage all the way in. Let's come onto the arches, hip socket distance apart. Find a little pull down on that foot bar, press the carriage out, and then drag it in. Feel like there's 50%, right, toes reaching up and over and 50% heels reaching down and under. So there's that equal opposition. Every finger is super glued to the mat here. Let's do 3 and 2. And 1, go ahead and bring the carriage all the way in. Let's come onto those heels, still hip socket distance apart. Find a strong flex of your feet and now press the carriage out and then drag it back in. So we're gonna move into some single leg stuff here, but before we do, I want you to feel that solid equal weight into your heels. So notice if you're rolling out or in here, try to fix it the best you can. And those pinky toes are pulling back just as much as your big toes. Now go ahead and press the carriage all the way out. Bring your right leg up into tabletop. Bring the carriage in and then press it out. Place the right foot down, all right? Bring your left leg up. Bend the knee, bring the carriage out, place the foot down, all right? With both feet down, bend your knees, bring the carriage all the way home. Bring your right leg up into tabletop. Press the carriage out and then drag it back in. All right, so right leg just stays up at tabletop. Find that heel to seat connection here as you press the carriage out and in. And we're moving just a little bit faster than what we normally do. Just to really work into that backside. We got 3 and 2 and 1. Now hold the carriage out. And now straighten that right leg up to the ceiling and just bend the knee. So as we bend and straighten, I want you to feel the back of your left thigh draw down to the floor. We've got 3 and 2 and 1. Now hold that leg straight. As you bring the carriage in, you lower it down and then kick it back up. Feel that your right hip stays drawing to the foot bar the entire time, and even more so as the leg lifts up and then back down, lifts up and down. For my tight people, find that opposition. Let's do 3 and 2 and 1. Hold the carriage out, bend that right knee, place the heel down. Center yourself as best you can. Left leg comes up into tabletop. And then we bend the right knee and out and in. And just like the beginning of footwork, I want you to feel that long line out through the crown of the head, right? And you're still trying to get taller each time you bring the carriage home. Arms are still just weighted into the mat here. Let's do 2 and 1. Hold the carriage out. We straighten that left leg up and then bend the knee. Feel that left hip reach to your right inner thigh the whole time, or to the foot bar. Whatever cue works best for you. We have 2 And 1. Now hold that leg razor straight, like so straight, it might even start to shake a little bit. Now we lower the leg down as the carriage comes in and then kick it back up. Exhale, lift the leg. So maybe you switch up your breath pattern here and just see how that feels. Reach those toes up and across the room. Let's do 3. This is definitely my tighter side. I'm struggling here. And last one, hold the carriage out and then bend the knee, place the heel down. All right, bring the carriage all the way home. Maybe resituate yourself so you're back to centered. Bring your right leg up into tabletop. All right, so it's gonna stay up there in tabletop. From here, headrest is down. Maybe inch away from the shoulder blocks because we're gonna go right into some bridging, all right? So from here, go ahead and lift the hips up, 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 and then lower all the way down, down, down. All right, again, roll the hips up and then roll all the way down. If you feel better with a flat back hinge, right, please do what works best for you. Use those arms to assist you. So go ahead and lift the hips up to your working angle today. Press that carriage out and then resist back in. Press it out and resist back in. Feel like that tailbone is wheeling up and over the pelvis the whole time. And I guess if you wanted to make things harder, you could float the arms up to the ceiling while you do this. We've got 3. Long neck. And 2. And last one, pull that carriage all the way in, and then roll all the way down. All right, right heel comes down. A left leg up in the tabletop. Roll the hips up. Where are you at today on this side? And then roll all the way down. Again, 2 more times here. Press down into those strong arms and then all the way down. Next one up here, we're gonna hold it. Think pubic bone higher than your 2 hip points. We press it out and then drag it in. Find this sensation of like your knee going up and over your foot, even as you press the carriage out. At least that makes sense in my head. Use those arms if you need. Find that that butt crease muscle is working hard. We got 3. Hang in there with me. And 2. And last one, pull that carriage all the way in, and then round down, round down, round down. All right. Go ahead and bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little hug. And now take your hands to your right shin. Extend your left leg out over your foot bar. And then if it's available, curl your head, neck, and shoulders up off the mat. Push that right shin up and into your hands so your arms are like kind of like a hug position. And then we switch legs for single leg stretch. And switch. So use that push of the shin into the hands to find a deeper ab curl. But then you got to keep it when you let go of the leg. We've got 3 and 2 and 1. Let's bring both knees all the way in, hug everything in super, super tight, and then send both legs out as the arms go back behind you. Open the arms out wide, then to your thighs, and then hug the knees all the way in. Again, reach the arms and legs away from one another, out to the side, then to your thighs, and bend everything all the way in. Last one like this, hold it out there this time. Can you lift your heart up through your arms a little bit more? Right leg goes straight up. And now scissor switch and switch. Hold here. Grab onto that right leg. Climb up it. Push the leg into the hands now and switch and switch. So I want you guys finding some type of stretch in the back of the leg. So for my tight people, maybe flex your feet here. We've got 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Lower everything down. Maybe rock the knees from side to side to give yourself a little twist. All right, so staying on these springs, we're gonna reach back for your long loops, all right? Your feet are gonna go into those long loops. Tailbone is gonna be down. Find your natural neutral here. Find a little Pilates V. So heels stay bolted together and you've got a little bit of a point out through your toes. Arms once again are back to chest expansion into the mat. And now press those legs out and away and then hold here. Like really feel like your legs are trying to grow past the straps even. And then bend your knees back towards the blocks. Again, press those legs out and away. Find your back body and then bend the knees back in. So we just did this on the foot bar with your footwork. But now we're able to kind of manipulate where the feet go, meaning higher or lower. Let's do 2. And last one, bend the knees in, but now I want you to like lift the shins and the feet up a little bit higher, right? So they're not quite parallel to the floor. The carriage is not gonna move a whole lot and your feet are gonna stay right about there. From here, can you try to roll your hips up off the mat? And if like right here, I feel like I'm stuck, I need to bring my knees further back, all right? And then from here, I'm gonna keep my feet where they're at now that I've adjusted, and then roll down, roll down, roll down. All right, now that you've got your feet adjusted, they stay exactly where they're at. I want you to lift the hips up. Think of pulling your seat to your feet. Pause wherever you can. Arms are still weighted, your neck is still long, and then roll all the way down, down, down. It's like a hovering bridge, if you will, kind of a piece to your short spine, and then roll all the way down, down, down. But what I'm hoping that you're feeling, keep moving with me, is just a little bit more into your seat, right? Because these heavy springs want to yank you back. Let's do that again. Roll the hips up, pause at the top, all right? From here, now lower the hips down an inch and up an inch, down an inch and up an inch. You melt and then roll back up. Press your heels together like you have an unlimited black card between them and you don't have to pay the bill. We've got 3. Keep that carriage steady. And 2. Last one. Hold those feet exactly where they're at. Roll all the way down, down, down. Bring your knees in closer to your chest and now take your hands to your long loops. Feet come out of the straps. So I forgot to say, if at any point these springs don't agree with you, please readjust, right? What may feel heavy to me might be light to you, okay? So we're gonna get into our 100 here. Wrap your fists around those long loops and then just find a little bit of spring tension to where your hands are just over your shoulders. All right, bring your knees into your chest, find that same little Pilates V. Imagine your feet were also into the straps here. I want you to lower those straight arms all the way down and into the mat and hold. Find a strong punch out through those fists and feel the shoulders glide away from the blocks. Keep that and then float the arms all the way up. All right, so find that space between ears and shoulders and then keep it as the arms float back up. We've got 3. Razor straight with those arms, and 2. And then last one here, lower those arms down. If it's available, curl the head, neck, and shoulders up. Pull the knees in maybe a little bit closer, and then straighten the legs out and away. All right, there's your feet and straps right there. Bend the knees all the way in. Again, send the legs out and away. Hold here. Start pumping those arms for your 100. Inhale and exhale. Now the foot bar is still up. You can always lower the legs down. That's always an option. I want you focusing on carriage not moving and a punch out through those fists. Feel like you're rounding into your upper back and inner thighs are hugging in, whether your legs are down or up. Keep reaching, keep creating space. Let's do 10. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower everything down with control. Go ahead and hang up those straps. Straighten your legs out over the foot bar. Zip up through those inner thighs. Feel the back of the legs press down. Reach the arms up to the ceiling. Take a big expansive breath in. And then on your exhale, you're gonna roll yourself all the way up, up, up. Once you're here at the top, grab onto either the foot bar, ankles, wherever you can, and just give yourself a juicy, juicy stretch here. You can flex the feet. All right. Now we're gonna pop off your medium spring. So for me, I have my green and a blue. So a heavy and a light spring is what you have on. You're gonna be kneeling on your carriage with your feet hooked around the edge of your mat. So hip socket distance apart here. Again, adjust your springs if you need. So I'm gonna reach down. I'm gonna grab onto the long loops first. If I need to adjust, right, we can adjust. So I want you to feel, again, the strong hooking of your feet, your pubic bone going forward and that length out through the crown of your head. Your arms are razor straight. From here, you're gonna pull the arms down and back, find your chest expansion, and then slowly release the arms. Stable lower half, and then slowly release. 2 more here. Pull the arms down and back, puff up that chest, and slowly release. Last one. And release. Now we're gonna pull the arms maybe about halfway, all right? So they're still in front of my hips here. So they're just gonna stay reaching kind of down and in front of me. I'm gonna sit my hips back, all right? I'm gonna hinge forward, carriage doesn't move, and then I'm gonna hinge back up, all right? It's like a bent knee RDL. And that's it, right? So keep the energy going back into those straps as you hinge forward and then back up. I want you to feel like your backside is really opening as we hinge forward and then it closes as we come back up. Last one like this. And then come all the way up. Now I want you to turn your palms facing up to the ceiling. You gotta hinge back a little bit, like think thigh stretch. Now we're gonna keep the thigh stretch as we do a bicep curl, hands come to the shoulders, and then slowly release. So again, lower half stays really stable, right? There's a lot of hamstrings, a lot of butt cheek action here as well. And now the higher up you can get those hands, obviously the harder this is going to be. Keep that feet hooking action around those, around that carriage. And I almost feel like my hamstrings are working harder than anything else here. You've got 3. Hug those elbows in close. And 2. And the last one here. Arms go out straight, turn the palms facing down, keep the hinge back, wide high row. Think of this as just a bent elbow, pull straps too. All right, so elbows go across the ends of the room. And you're still keeping that space between ears and shoulders. Let's do 3. And 2. And last one. Let the arms go out straight in front of you. Now keeping square, only your right elbow goes out to the side, right? Out to the side and then back out in front. Other elbow, we're gonna go right to just alternating. Now can you find that same range like when you had both arms doing it? Elbow goes wide and back. Keep that chest and the front body open to the wall in front of you. Let's do 4. And 3. And 2. Last one here. Let the arms go straight out in front of you. Find more of that plumb line, right? Ribs over pelvis over knees. We're gonna do that chest expansion. Arms pull back. And then as the arms come forward, let yourself hinge back, palms face up, bicep curl. So we're just gonna combo the chest expansion and the bicep curl. If you feel like the carriage is jerking underneath you, then we need to re-engage your butt cheeks, your hamstrings, and basically your lower half. It just means we've lost a little control. I felt it just happen to me. Puff up that chest. Let's do 3 here. Strong arms. Last one here. You still with me? Last bicep curl, punch up to the ceiling and then slowly release the arms. Hang those straps on your pegs and I want you to walk forward, knees up against your shoulder blocks. Please make sure that you are still hip socket distance apart. So for a lot of equipment or for a lot of us, shoulder blocks are kind of hitting us in the center of our thigh. I'm gonna take the hands down to the frame and let's have them start underneath the shoulders. We can always adjust from here. So there's kind of a push down into the hands and also the shins and the tops of the feet. They want to pick up so bad. So fight for that like foot and shin connection. So from here, I just want you to round your spine, push down into those shins. And as you do that, feel that lift up through your sternum, up through your chest, up through your ribs. And then just start to stick the booty out, puff up the chest or kind of roll it forward. So just a little cat-cow before we get into this next move. Roll the chest open, feel your heart reach forward. Last one here. Breathe into those tight spaces. Find that extension one last time. And now I want you to find more of a flat back. So remember, this is a heavy spring. Carriage might not move a lot. That's okay. So watch out for your thumbs here. Keep the push down into your shins and then keep the flat back. And now can you pull the carriage in towards your hands a little bit and then back out? All right. Exhale, back stays flat. Pull the carriage in, and then back out. Now, if you're thinking, this is easy, lady, walk your hands up further, right? Don't let me hold you back. Exhale, pull the carriage in and then back out. Extra challenge though, can you keep the tops of your feet and your shins glued to the mat? It is so tough. Last one here, and then back out. Now we round, all right? Keep your shoulders over your hands if you can, all right? And now from here, we round the spine, pull the carriage in, and then flatten back out as the carriage goes back out. Exhale, lift the ribs, lift the spine, pull the carriage in, and then back out. Again, push into those hands, push into those feet, round, 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 and then back out. Your armpits should be talking to you, right? They're working. Round, 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 and then glide back out. Last one like this, right? This is just your reverse knee stretches, and then all the way out. So inch away from the blocks a little bit. All right, just so we have some space. So keep the push into the hands, the lift of the chest, and now just stretch your right leg back behind you. Just make sure you don't kick the foot bar. And then drop that right hip down a little bit, so now your hips are square. And then just bend the knee back in. Let's do that again. Can you stay square as you glide that left leg out? Hold. Think of it reaching for that wall behind you, neckline staying long, and then bend the knee back in. All right. Right leg goes out and away. Holds here. Okay. Just be mindful of the shoulder blocks. That back leg is going to lift now as you bend your elbows, dive your chest down, and then press yourself back up. Adjust your hands if you need. The leg is going to lift. Think of that as what's diving the chest down forward, and then lift yourself back up. All right, again. Feel that big toe lift, 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 lift. And then back out. 2 more here. Reach the chest forward, reach the collarbones forward, and then lift back up. Last one. Keep the right hip drawing down as your right leg lifts, and then all the way back up. Lower the knee down. All right, we stay square. Left leg goes out. You got it. Bend the elbows. Reach the chest forward, and then all the way back up. So keep your tailbone long. For me, I'm probably extending a little bit, but I'm fighting to keep kind of a neutral low back. Feel that left big toe, lift, lift, lift up. You got it. Let's do 2 more here. And even though the legs are split, find your inner thighs. Last one, lift, dive, 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 and then come all the way back in. Nice work, y'all. We're going to turn around. We're going to stay on these same springs. So it still should be a heavy and a light. Please be careful in this next one. If you need to come seated, maybe a crisscross applesauce, do it, right? If the knees are starting to get a little cranky. So reach back, grab your long loops. All right, get into some spring tension. My palms are facing down here. If you want to make it even harder, you can just have the hips hovering, okay? So I'm going to kind of puff up my chest a little bit, make fists with your hands, and then I'm going to press those arms out in front of you. I'm squeezing my chest muscles, and then bend the elbows wide. Exhale, push those fists out. Get angry at something in front of you. Exhale, punch out. And inhale, bend. You got it. Exhale, punch out. Inhale, bend. Now we're gonna add on. So as you go out, maybe round your upper back a little bit more. And then as your elbows start to bend, think of squeezing your upper back muscles so the chest kind of puffs up. All right, so we work chest in one way, back to resist in the opposite way. Whew. Are you starting to feel things? How those hips, are they still hovering? Whew. Let's do 3 more. You got it. Punch out, and then back in. 2 more. Exhale out. Bends the elbows back in. Whoo, last one, hold it out there, and then bends the elbows back in. All right, so now we come up into more of an active kneeling position. If you're still sitting on your seat in that crisscross applesauce, no worries. Hands are just gonna come to clear your knees and obviously the carriage. So I'm gonna start with my flat back. I'm gonna push back through my feet, and my arms are just at my sides here, okay? So none of that changes, all right? And now I'm just gonna do a bicep curl, hands come to shoulders, and then slowly release the arms. Again, elbows stay hugging into your sides, and then slowly release. Even as the elbows bend, think of them reaching down towards your hips or back towards your hips, and slowly release. And now to add on, as those arms go straight, I want you to really squeeze the back of the arms, right? So we're getting a little bit of tricep work there, and then we work the front of the arm into the biceps, right? There's a lot of work on that descent. Keep your chest open if you can. We got 5. Keep those elbows tucked in. I know they want to wing out. And 4. Find that pinky wrapping around. And 3. Find your inner thighs, all body all the time. 2. And then last one here. And then slowly resist for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. All right. Hang up those straps. We are now going to take the light spring off. So we are left with 1 heavy spring. So once you have your 1 heavy spring on, I'm going to stand to the left of my reformer. So my left leg is on the inside or touching the side of the carriage, and then my right foot is going to go up against the shoulder block. Now, this reformer is a little high, so I can't even come standing with my knee not touching the mat. So if you have that luxury of knee hovering right now with you standing, you'll be able to have a little bit more range than me, right? So just keep that in mind when watching me. So I'm gonna find a soft bend in my standing knee. Remember, that leg is hugging the frame of the carriage, and I've got a strong connection through as much of the foot to the shoulder block as I possibly can, okay? I don't care what you do with your hands here, but I want you to press the carriage back and then pull it in, all right? We go back and then in. Now, as you're going out and in, depending on what spring you have chosen for this, it's gonna wanna push you forward. So your standing leg is working very hard. Whatever knee bend you have chosen, it stays like that, okay? And also too, it's not going forward or back. It's right over the center of your foot. You may not be able to see mine, right? But you can see yours. Hips stay square to that wall in front of you. I want you to really, again, feel like this is coming from your seat. We've got 3 and 2 and 1. Now hold that carriage out there wherever you can, okay? Your front heel, can you lift it? Can you lower it? Can you lift it and lower it? Now, if you have a really low apparatus, you might be able to sink down lower. Look at me, I just sunk down lower. Calling myself out. We got 3, we're still with that heel lift, and 2 and 1. Now, can you hold that heel lifted? Bring the carriage in a little bit, and then press the carriage out. Bring the carriage in a little bit, and then press it out. So now we're doing a little bit more of a lunge, right? So your front knee is going to do a little like bend and extend with the heel lifted. And I don't know about you, but I'm feeling my left seat talking to me here. And my right thigh. We've got 3, And 2. And last one here. You're gonna bring that carriage all the way in and then lower that heel down. Now before you get all antsy, you wanna go over to the other side. We're now gonna pivot, face your reformer. All right, I'm still standing on my left leg. I'm gonna place my right toes, or my right balls of my foot, up on top of my shoulder block here. I have a turnout to both legs. You pick how big, how small you want this turnout to be. Now, I'm gonna place my left hand on the foot bar, and I'm just gonna press the carriage out. And I'm gonna hold here for a second. I'm gonna readjust my standing foot, right? Again, need to do some readjusting with the carriage out. And then I'm just gonna bend the knee back in. All right, so now that we figured out where that foot needs to be, I want you to find a soft bend in your standing leg once again, right? You're trying to hold a flat back, whether you're hinged forward or standing up. And now you press the carriage out and then bring it in, okay? So I like to think of this move, I'm kind of channeling the hip opener from your push through bar work, right? If you have access to a tower. So I'm almost thinking of my right hip coming forward and my right knee going back. Now, if you're looking to like really spice things up, keep your right heel in this super high position. All right, obviously it's gonna feel like it's lifting and lowering because right, the leg is gonna lift and lower. Are we starting to feel things more on that right hip? Or maybe it's just all standing leg right now. Now I want you to hold that carriage out there, right? Now we're only gonna come in maybe like a quarter of the way and then back out. Quarter of the way and back out. Now your standing foot, right? It's strong, it's bolted to the floor. It is not rolling out nor in. Yep. We've got 4 and 3. I'm feeling things. And 2. And last one, you hold it out there. We're gonna flex the foot and then point the toes. Flex the foot and point the toes. And my right hip just immediately said, no, I don't like this. It is working hard. It is talking to me right now. Right? Every toe reaches. We got 3. You still with me? And 2. And last one, pull that carriage all the way in. All right, so let's place your foot bar, or sorry, your headrest up. If doing long stretch with your hands or planking with your hands on the foot bar is not for you, you can always come planking with your hands here or even onto your forearms, right? We have lots of options. So this is actually a lighter spring than what I do it here. So keep that in mind. Hands are gonna come onto the foot bar. Balls of the feet come into the headrest crease. If you're taking the turnaround option, your feet can either come onto the foot bar or the gray platform, all right? So we pop right up into your plank, all right? So push those hands away and feel your chest lift into your upper back. You're gonna press the carriage out, 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 and then pull the carriage in. Again, try to keep those heels lifted high, no matter where you're at, and then pull the carriage in. Now we go out one last time. I kind of lied, we're gonna go out again, but not all the way out. Now we press it out just a little bit. We're gonna bend the elbows, all right? Chest press. Now, if you are on your forearms right now, you can drop your chest down, find retraction, and as you lift your chest up, you find protraction. Let's do 2. Keep hugging those legs together. Last one, press yourself up, and then carefully step off. Whew. Oh my goodness. Left foot goes up against the shoulder block. Right foot or right leg up against the frame of the carriage. Back to those lunges on the other side. So remember, we find the soft bend in that front knee as we press the carriage out and in. See, I almost just went into those lunges. All right, so it's more just coming from the back leg. We go out and in. Your bottom toes, your standing toes, they are pointing right out in front of you. Anybody else's heart rate get up after that? Feel like your tailbone is lengthening, right? So again, spine is not changing shape. Very easy to go into that low back here. We've got 3 and 2 and 1. Now hold that carriage out. If you can go lower here, you go lower, right? That's okay if that knee bends more. Find balance, and then we lift that front heel up, and then we lower it. Hips are square, waistline is long. I don't care what you do with your hands, right? They can be behind your head, out to the side if you're looking for something a little bit more into the upper body. Challenge yourself to really lift that heel super high and then control it on the way down. We've got 3 and 2 and 1. Now we keep that heel lifted. We bring the carriage in. We bend into that front knee to press the carriage out. So now we're doing more of a lunge with that heel lifted. Anybody out there, is this your weaker side? It's mine. Things are talking to me right now. And again, we did work this side pretty good under doing those press outs facing. Let's do 3. You got it. And 2. Keep that heel steady for this last one. You go out to that point of control. You come all the way in, lower that shaky heel down. Whew, and now we pivot. We face the carriage. Toes are on. Just go ahead and press the carriage out. Hold here, readjust. All the things that need readjusting. Soft bend in that knee. We bring the carriage in and then press it out. So again, we're trying to pull that top knee kind of wide and back as the hip feels like it's going forward. And again, that loose arm that's out there can be behind the head. It can be out to the side. And you're holding that standing leg solid and strong. That left heel staying high. We've got 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Hold the carriage out there. Maybe you get a little bit deeper into the work, get into those little nooks and crannies, and now we just go in a quarter of the way and then out. Quarter of the way and out. Now, of course, you don't need to hold on to that foot bar. You don't have to. I just realized that I could be feeling a little bit more here. You got this. Breathe through it. We are almost there. We've got 3. Check your neck. And 2 and 1. Hold that carriage out there. We flex and we point. This side feels way less coordinated than the other side. Try to keep that leg straight as you flex and point. There's that left hip. Woo. We've got 4. You got this. 3. Keep working that turn out. 2 and 1. Keep the heel lifted as you bring it all the way in. Oh, felt like my leg was gonna fall off there for a second. All right, so let's just go ahead and have a seat on your reformer. Take your right ankle over your left knee. And I want you to sit up really tall, like stick out the booty, puff up the chest. If it's available, you're gonna push down into that right knee and then just lean over to the left. Just a little side bend over to the left. And then feel that right hip plug down into the mat. And then just stack your spine all the way up. Last one like this. You go up and over. And then all the way up. All right. Left ankle, right knee. Same thing here. Rinse and repeat. Little lean over to the right. What I'm hoping is just feel it's just a deeper stretch. And if you don't feel that, right, do what works for you. And then all the way back up. Last one like this. Think of sending your breath all the way down that left side, all the way down into that left hip. And then all the way back up. Okay, so you're gonna switch it now to a medium spring. So for me, that is a red spring, 1 medium spring. You're gonna come Z sit on your reformer. My right shin is up against the shoulder blocks here. Hook that right foot around or whatever back foot you have on your shoulder blocks. Left hand on the foot bar, right arm up to the ceiling. We're just gonna finish with a quick twisty mermaid. So go up and over here. We're gonna go right into that twist. So your right hand is gonna go down, both hands are gonna go wide on your foot bar. And now I want you to push with your left hand and pull with your right to get you deeper into that twist. You might have to bend an elbow depending on how flexy you are. Breathe into those ribs and now keep the twist as you come all the way in, in, in. Maybe you find a little baby back bend at the top and then glide that carriage back out. Breathe into your ribs, breathe into your armpits, and then really work that push-pull of the hands to bring the carriage all the way in, in, in. All right, let's do that on the other side. So left shin, hook that foot around. It's gonna help keep your hips planted. Right hand on, left arm up, press the carriage out. We go up and over, then we spiral down towards the floor. Now it's pushing with your right, pulling with your left. Really work that opposition as you bring the carriage all the way in. Now, some days I like to kind of slink in and like do a roll in. Some days I like to have a razor flat back. So I want you to pick where you need to go. Once you're here at the top, drop those shoulders down. Feel that chest puff up. I think I may have done an extra half a rep, but I'm feeling a little bit tighter on that left side. And then drag it all the way in, in, in. And I appreciate you here today. This was fun. Nice work.